on Steam. You have to hit stop. Come on, we got to see that whole intro. We got to see that whole intro. I clicked on it, messed it up. All right, let's see that whole intro again. There it is, in all its glory. ...2005 re-release. Okay, so when it's quiet, that's what it was playing in the background when I couldn't get it to work. Hey, there it is. Ready for some Spelunx? Oh, Jim's muted. I don't know if he knows that, but... Oh, look how tiny this mouse is. Could probably fix that, but I don't know if you guys care. It's actually kind of hard for me.
You recognize any of those sound effects?
Well, I know the aim sound effect. Or I guess it's not aim, right? It's no, that's a different one. I mean, they play it in Mist, I guess. All right. Kind of want to... This is actually a bit harsh on me. Let me... Nah, I guess we should just keep playing. That mouse cursor is tiny, but I've had so many technical issues already.
I think I see it.
What do you see? Oh, you wanted the mouse?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, let me see. If I want to try to fix that, I have to do this. Let's see. I guess we can get it back to that if we absolutely have to. How about 1600 by 900? And then I'll just fix it on here. And that'll just be native here. See what the cursor size is now. That more reasonable?
That's a little better, I
It's a
think.
little better. We can go further if you need it, but...
No, that's fine.
Okay. Already, so hold on. From here, we step forward, and we're already 2 nodes ahead. All right, we kind of skipped this node, but okay. Oh, left or right? I guess let's go left. I think I went left. I'm not sure. All right, the toy room.
I like this game in particular as a kind of a historic artifact because they really like this is the basis for Mist. You can see how this turns into Mist.
Fat. Slow. Bus.
Fat, slow, bus.
Sorry. A fat slow bus.
Did you watch that? I think it was the Ars Technica interview with Rand Miller.
Yes.
Because he talked a lot about this game and using HyperCard for their programming and how everything was really just a collection of slideshows.
So you can move this a little bit, but it doesn't move very far. You can move it down. There we go. Oh! Numbers. Is that a puzzle? Can't move it side to side very far, but you can move it up and down. Is this the same thing? Can't move it that way.
Did a no-no?
Did I do a no-no?
I heard it buzz.
I don't know. Oh, look at this. I don't know why the image in the background isn't stable, but... Osmo lives. Oh, that's fun. What does
I
that
remember
say?
playing through this,
Electric outlet?
and this was like right before
Like
I played
Ike.
Mist.
Oh, wow. You got the full experience. Who is
Yeah,
that?
it was interesting because like you look at things like this and you start thinking like, oh, there's this huge story behind this. Like, what's going on with these caves? Who are all these people?
There's Einstein. Is that like Descartes or somebody?
It does look like Descartes.
Oh! Wow. A little flash forward, huh?
No, Easter egg.
Were you not aware of that one, Jim?
I don't know if that was in the original. Like I say, it's been 30 years since I've played this.
I guess they could sneak it in now. Yeah, I guess they didn't have it designed. It's not like they could like flash forward. They could like actually have a hint there. So this is
I remember this.
a game that oh, you can't set it to 0? So this is definitely a scenario where I don't know what's happening here. Okay. Like what I'm trying to do here. So if you set it to different temperatures. Oh, it takes its time or something?
Yeah, it's cold-blooded. So
Right.
the cooler it is, the less he wants to move around.
Yeah.
A fat, slow bus.
I don't know what else I want to say.
Don't burn the toast.
Oh, come on. Did you ever get it to 100?
No,
Why not?
I didn't have that kind of attention span.
Hmm. Because you see that if I was a kid playing this, I would try to get it to 100. Because I would think, I'd be like, well, there's that third digit. So how would I get it to actually, well, that's already moving quite a bit faster, so never mind, but. Oh man, this game gets hard quick. Wow. All right. 13, that's my score.
Lucky number.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, that sound.
So what is the goal with this?
I think it's to get the ants to the food. Well, yeah.
I mean, I can just give it to him. What? Just try to make it as easy on him as possible.
Yeah, or just learn how to manipulate their path and move them around.
Or they could just starve. Oh, you want it? You can't have it. Put it right there. No. Right there. So close. I don't know.
Biggest thing with this game is just to dork around with everything until you either get tired of it or you tickle your fancy.
Yeah.
There's a nice little conversion tool, right?
Oh, so yeah, okay. So you can jack this up to some crazy number. Although, you know, okay, so that's the maximum.
Hold my breath waiting for the thunder.
Hey, Electric. Oh, we played that. Feels like this is going the wrong way. Yeah, we did this. Oh, that goes away. Yeah, and also there's no music, which I guess you expect there to not be music because they said they didn't want that in Mist.
Yep. Thought it would be too distracting, I think is what they said, right?
Hey, Moss.
Hello, Shady.
Hey, man.
Hey, Slim Jim. Is this the Steam port?
Yeah.
Okay. So this isn't DOS, is it?
No, this is all I have. However, I got it. I don't know.
I think this is a more recent port, actually. I think it's only came out this century.
2005.
Okay.
You can see the obvious Channelwood influences here.
Well, yeah. Pig-toed tree. Oh, it's like a potato head thing.
It's such a goofy little whimsical game, isn't it?
Trying to do it sort of randomly. Is it possible to like grab it while it's just really difficult, or?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't think I could ever grab it.
I don't know, it may not be possible, or I just suck. Play, stop, erase. So Okay. So you just put I don't know. How you doing, Moss?
All right. I've actually got a box copy of this game, which I haven't tried yet.
Oh, you can. Okay. Change the keys here.
Those M stand for minor shady.
Thank you. You know what this one is?
Diminished.
Very good.
It's been a few years, but I've still got it.
So you could do.
So what have I missed so far? Because I slept in.
Oh, I just played Rethink till I could get people in here. I didn't want to play this while no one was here. There's my song.
Are you is Matthew actually engaging in the discussion, or is he just using it to access the live feed, which is fair enough?
Who?
Matthew.
He spoke a little bit earlier. Said he had a new
Yeah, 'cause
headset. He said he had a new
the
headset
live
with a new
feed has crashed for me on Discord.
Oh, does it not work?
Well, I can't get to work. I'm just looking at the Twitch feed.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either. I've been looking at Twitch. I was feeding one on one.
Are you still there, Matthew? Or are you up to more of your tricks?
Not taunting him at all, are you?
Come back, Matthew. I'd like to say all is forgiven, but let's not go that far.
I don't know.
All right, here we go.
And I'm a terrible composer.
Just a short little tune. Give it some time.
All right, that'll work. It looked like he burped. Yeah. Yeah, you have to. Okay. So let's just put all these in and see what I like here. Yeah, I think this was the
Very
best.
enthusiastic. I like it.
Yeah. I just put these all out there. Two, three, four, five, six. So 7 and 11. No. No, you already have that one. There we go.
Did I miss any interesting discussion?
All right, that'll work. How do I get out of here? Oh, I'm on the wrong.
Did I miss any interesting discussion while I wasn't here?
Not yet.
No, we
All
didn't.
right.
We didn't really have. We just kind of. Well, I filled in Hurricane a bit on what science doing with Riven and how we're on the fence, let's say.
Yeah.
I also said I want to get the I think it'd be good to put the first episode of my series out on that Saturday before the 30th anniversary.
It's a good idea.
September.
September 23rd.
I thought it was September 22nd. Hang on.
I thought it was the 23rd. Maybe I misread. Let's go here.
Oh, September 24th. Okay. We were both out.
Wait, the 24th
Right
is a
in the middle.
Saturday?
Oh, okay. No, yes. 24th is the day it came out. So it's a Sunday, is it? Okay.
Yeah, so I
Never
was
mind.
saying
I see
put
what
it
you're
on.
saying now.
Yeah. What is this? S. This is very slow.
I can feel myself aging.
Yeah, especially without any music.
I love how this looks too. Because I think it's 256 colors, right?
Probably.
It's just so charmingly gorgeous. In a very old-fashioned way. Man, imagine if these guys had just stuck to edutainment like this.
Hey, I'm back.
Yay, back.
What is my guy even doing?
Not dying.
It's pretty based. Oh, that's the whole thing. He doesn't make it all the way across. Okay. I don't know what the controls are here. Okay, I can do this.
Oh, it's supposed to be like lemmings
I don't know.
with pre-programmed movements.
I don't. Oh. Oh.
An animator, isn't it?
It looks like animation in the style of turtle programming.
I like that tree. It looks like it's wearing a hat.
It's the best I can do. Tree house. Uh. Yeah, this would be hard, actually. I could see myself as a kid, like, spending hours on this trying really hard to make a good animation, and there not being a good way to edit the animation and get it right. So, like, I hit erase and just clear the entire thing. Like, if I click in the wrong spot once. Ah.
Yeah, it seems pretty jukey to me.
Wait, you can only put one on here? Oh, this is a problem, guys. See the issue?
Oh, you can't duplicate.
No.
Ooh.
You'd only have one tree? What is this?
Just imagine they're all together.
Pre-CD-ROM file format store.
Hashtag save the trees.
So if you wanted to use the alphabet, you need to spell something that doesn't repeat any letters. Uncopyrightable.
Just goes to show how much they hate trees even before they started Mist.
V. Give me this. Put something there. I don't know.
Hey, Shady, as a joke, you should release, maybe on April 1st, you should release a deforestation of Spelunx video editor video.
Oh no. Yeah.
And just, if you just click out, just do it as a short, right? You just click, like, why can't I only have one tree?
Just like all the comments would be like, you just have to click this or that, and that'll give you what you want.
Funny how they had PlayStation memory cards at this time.
Just hit Alt F4. Problem solved.
No, I think that does actually do it here. Sometimes it actually doesn't. All right. Let's go
Such
here. What
channel
is
wood.
this? Maturity meter? What? Oh. It's not doing anything.
Gotta grow the tree now.
I mean, I haven't seen anything grown at all. I don't know what... Am I supposed to match these up or something? Do I wait some time or something?
Yeah, it's gotta grow.
Well, then let me put my original one in then.
I was a fan of passion fruit.
Can I leave it and come back later?
Yes.
I assume so. Have you played this game, Slim Jim?
30 years ago. On my uncle's
Is this
Mac.
one of your uncle's Mac? Yeah. All right.
So you come in here.
It feels
you go
really
that
weird
way.
to say that I was playing video games 30 years ago.
I mean, I was too.
This kind of changed a lot for me because before then, most of the video games were like Super Mario Brothers, maybe The
Hold on.
Legend of Zelda, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, that kind of thing.
Wait a minute. I'm confused. So when I first come in, if I turn left, I end up in this room again.
The toy room.
Yeah. So everything else would be to the right. If I go to the left here, it's that. Just check it. Okay. So if I go to the right, it's that. Where was I just now? It wasn't here. Okay, I guess I just didn't remember the teapot. I guess I just blew right past that without realizing. Okay. Whoa. A secret passage.
Well done. Doesn't sound like it feels very good for him.
Sound of applause.
Yeah, there's sound effects you can add now.
In the voice chat in Discord, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you did that. Well, you're just confusing me then. Trying to put him there. Okay.
Hey, Hurricane's
Hey,
back.
Hurricane.
I'm back.
Hello,
Welcome back.
The
Hurricane.
grass is shorter.
Is it all under control over there?
Yeah, it's just a pain because every time I did a small line, it was already full of a bag.
Oh,
I had to
yeah.
That's brutal.
That's
rips
the
it.
biggest reason that I don't like. I'm not a big fan of bagging.
Well, the main thing is.
Yeah, well, at least I don't have to. At least I don't have to do the front of my yard, because it's fake grass. So a long time ago,
Okay.
I used to do the front
AstroTurf.
yard.
You have AstroTurf out there?
Basically, we have like a little small grass on the right, and then there's like a walkway to go into, and then another small to the left of the walkway with the rock in the middle. And then it's on the far left next to the driveway is a bunch of flowers and stuff.
You just love spamming that air horn, don't you?
Ooh.
That's the sound canvas, isn't it, Shady?
My sound
can't
canvas
tell.
is
The bell?
not doing anything, I don't think.
No, but the bell that you picked up. That's a sound canvas.
I mean, it's not my sound canvas, but
No, but it is the sound canvas.
I don't know. Ooh. The history of Spelunx. Want to read this, Jim?
There's a town nestled in a quiet corner of the Yuyan Mountains on Yuyan Isle. It is a colorful town and a happy town. It is a town where I was born. The streets are paved with cobblestones, and every building is painted a different color. Pine trees tower above the rooftops, and the delicate smell of pine wafts through the quiet streets. The king of this town was getting very, very old, and he decided that he must appoint a successor to his throne. for he had no children. When I'm starting to get We Were Here flashbacks. When I was still young, the king and his, gosh, this is a lot of text, council announced the great games, the contest to choose the next king or queen of the town. Naturally, there was much excitement in our little town during the weeks prior to the great games. Preparations were being made. People were practicing the events. A great feast was being prepared. The streets were alive with talk and activity. The taverns were filled with old men bragging about their daughters and sons. Blue and yellow banners were hung across the sky, announcing the coming of the games. Maids and servants gossiped in the back rooms of the castle. And as the great games came closer and closer, the city's inns began to overflow with business and joviality. Our little town was quickly growing into a metropolis. Where was I during all this? For the most part, I was working hard at the local smithy. I was apprenticed to the town blacksmith. While all the excitement went on around me, I busily forged the tools, decorations, horseshoes, javelins, armor, and equipment that would be used in the games. Since I was too young to participate in the games, it was my duty to help the mastersmith. But even the mastersmith was too caught up in the excitement to get much work done. I found myself alone in the smithy many afternoons, while the mastersmith relaxed and gossiped in the local taverns. It was on one of those busy afternoons that something odd happened. I was busily hammering and shaping a helmet. The room glowed red with fire from the kiln. Sweat poured from my skin as echoes of metal, beating on metal, bounced from wall to wall. The mouth of the kiln was stretched wide like the jaws of a dragon. Suddenly, white sunlight flew into the room. I turned. There, framed in a shroud of white light, was a silhouette of an enormous figure. I lost a breath and paused before I responded to this dramatic entry. "I'm sorry, sir. You startled me. How can I help you?" Without saying a word, the strange figure took a quick step inside and closed the door behind him. This startled me even more, and I stepped backwards, knocking over a bucket of water. "You are very young to be a blacksmith," he said abruptly as he strode toward me. In the dim light, I could see him more clearly. He wore a black robe that reached from his neck to the ankles of his black boots. A fanciful hat was perched on his head, and his face was covered with a black mask. "Who are you?" I asked with a shaking voice. "I go by many names, but you may call me Count Alexander," he answered with a voice of iron, and his eyes flashed through his mask. "Now I have answered your question. You can answer mine. Are you the master smith?" "No, your excellency. I am only his apprentice. My name is Suedo." "I am sorry, but the master smith is currently—" "Never mind about the master smith. It is you that I am looking for. I have heard that your skill exceeds your master's." I stood as still as stone, not knowing how to answer. "I can see that you are modest about your skills, Mr. Suedo. Regardless, I want you to create for me a masterpiece." "A masterpiece," I replied. "How long is this?"
I don't know. I'm into the story now.
Yeah, keep going.
"A masterpiece," I replied. "What do you mean? Are you aware of the order of the great games?" "Yes." "Are you aware of that most vital contest which will decide the winner out of the finalists?" Without waiting for a reply, he pointed to the sky and announced, "The final contest is Yodel Toasters, and the rules state that every participant must supply his or her own toaster." "Do you have a toaster?" I asked. "Yes, yes, yes," he said, looking perturbed, "but I don't have a masterpiece." I waited while he quickly stepped within an inch of my face. In a low, quiet tone, he said, "I want you to make me the greatest toaster ever. The toaster that will help me win the games and make me king." A shiver of excitement ran down my spine. This masked count was providing me with the greatest challenge of my life. This mysterious man in black was daring me to create a toaster that shined like the sun, a toaster that cooked toast to perfection, a toaster whose coils gleamed with pure orange heat. The stranger wanted me to craft the perfect toaster. could not refuse. I swallowed hard, looked him in the eyes, lifted my chin, and said, I will do it, and you will be king. A smile spread across his uncovered mouth as he stood tall and strong. Thank you, kind Suedo. Here is the bag of gold for now. When the toaster is finished, I will give you another bag of gold. He threw me a small velvet pouch, bowed gracefully, spun and left the room before I could thank him. The next 3 nights were sleepless. I spent many days working on my usual jobs while I spent my nights creating the masterpiece that the masked man had ordered. My eyes hung heavy with the monotony of the day, but I came awake at night. I sweated and labored for hours in the stillness, and slowly, under the hot forge fire, the toaster began to take shape. 3 days later, a masterpiece stood before me. Glittering in the firelight, its silver casing was formed and contoured to perfection. Light seemed to dance on its surface like the surface of a crystal lake. Its ebony lift lever glided like ice, its lift spring taut, waiting to release its bound power. The fire behind me began to die as I slumped lower and lower into my chair, admiring my creation as I fell into sleep. Soon I was dreaming of toasters. I dreamed that my toaster was in front, excuse me, of hundreds of smaller toasters, and they were all cheering and applauding my toaster. My toaster walked to the front of the castle and sat in the king's throne. A small toaster approached my toaster and placed a crown upon his head. The crowd cheered, and again I fell deeper and deeper into sleep. Mr. Suedo! I cried as I jumped out of my chair, waking suddenly. There, in front of me, stood the masked Count Alexander. It was still night. Tiny stars peeked through the cracked door. The furnace had died down to a mere reddening shimmer. See that you have finished my toaster. He took a fresh piece of bread from beneath his cloak and dropped it into the machine. I waited with bated breath. A moment later, the toast jumped high into the air. He caught it and took a bite. Perfect, he whispered, and I sighed with relief. Except, he continued, I am left-handed, and this is a right-handed toaster. For a moment, a flash of fear pulsed through my veins, and then I suddenly thought of an old blacksmith's maxim. If you can't fix it, feature it. No, Your Excellency, I replied. This toaster is right-handed and left-handed. As I said this, I picked up the toaster and turned it the other direction. Very clever, Mr. Suedo. I see why they call you a master of the craft. He paused and picked up the toaster, as if to examine it more closely. He looked startled and said, This toaster is heavy. It must weigh 15 pounds. You are right, Your Excellency, I answered with a slight bow of my head. But you will find that this toaster is more powerful than any other toaster that exists on this planet. An active matrix heating element expresses a more controlled heat, which will cause your toast to cook faster. In addition, the use of a lead-acid battery instead of the conventional nickel-cadmium, in association with the intelligent power management operations, will give you much longer and more consistent battery life. Very good, Mr. Suedo, very good. Now here is the rest of the money I promised you, he said as he handed me another velvet bag. I bowed again, and when I looked up, both the toaster and the masked man were gone, and a chill wind whistled through the half-closed door of the smithy. The great games were a week away, and I worked hard in the smithy at all the odd jobs, while the preparations went on around me. I never saw the masked count. I sometimes began to wonder if it was all just a dream. The week passed slowly, and each day I grew more excited, thinking of the games and thinking of Count Alexander. When the feast day arrived, I could hardly suppress my excitement. The bells of the church rang loudly in the morning, and everyone gathered in the town square and surrounding streets for the opening feast. Tables were set in every place where there was a bit of room, and in some places where there was no room. And every table was a different color. People were everywhere, even on the rooftops. Men and women were dressed in the finest and brightest clothes. Children scampered and laughed. Banners and colored string fluttered from every building. Jest rose from the town as a chorus. The smell of food was delicious. Roasts and hams and honey cakes and pies, sweet milk and turkey and cheeses from every capital, apple cider and bacons and waffles and hot maple candies. Everything else you consider wonderful and delicious, it was all there. Sweet Taco Bell. The smell spread into every corner of every room and every house. No one could stay away. But someone did stay away. The mysterious Count Alexander. I looked for him all morning, but he was nowhere to be found. And I began to fear that he was just an illusion. Or maybe he had changed his costume. So I did not know who he was. So I looked for someone who was tall. But there was no one as tall as the Count. Surely he would come to the feast, I thought. But I saw no one like Count Alexander. So I ate and enjoyed myself, but always with one eye searching for the Count. The feast ended in the afternoon, and it was time for the calling of the contestants. The king stood on stage at the corner of the square with his arms around the shoulders of the two assistants. His long white beard nearly touched the ground. He turned to the assistant on his right and mumbled something into his ear. The man held the king's right hand in the air, and the crowd settled down into silence. King whispered something else into the man's ear. The man nodded his head and said to the audience, "His Royal Highness wishes to have the contestants of the great games called forward." There's a general murmuring in the crowd as the king was helped back down into his chair. A large man in blue, holding a very long list, walked forward. He put on a pair of tiny spectacles, and the crowd was quiet. "Aaron!" he yelled, and then, "Abbott! Abdul! Abibi! Abel! Abelard! Abigail! Abner! Abraham!"
That
One
list
by
is
one,
longer than our story. Keep going.
men and women began to come to the front of the square. At certain names, the crowd would start to applaud, and the man who was calling names would have to raise his hand in a quieting gesture. He would say, "If you aren't quiet, we're going to have to cancel the entire contest." Everyone knew this wasn't true. They tried to obey him nonetheless. "Adler! Adriana! Agatha! Ben!" A shiver ran down my spine as I realized that the name Alexander would be called soon. I shifted to the end of my seat. "Aiken! Eileen! Ellen!" A lump rose in my throat. "Elburn! Alberta! Alcott!" I held my breath. "Eldwin! Alec! Alicia!" My heart froze. "Alfred!" What? Alfred? What about Alexander? Alexander comes before Alfred. There was no Alexander. Then suddenly I remembered that he called himself Count Alexander. I waded through the seas just as anxiously, but I was disappointed. Eventually the entire list was read, and a crowd of hundreds stood before us. The king grinned, and the man with the glasses drank a big glass of water, rubbed his throat, and sat down. There was no Count Alexander. I slouched in my chair, disheartened and disappointed. All of my work on the masterpiece was in vain. A toaster that would never see the competition. This false count had made a fool of me and my craftsmanship. I put my face into my hands and blocked out the spectacle around me. I had never been so disappointed. I began to cry, and I hid my tears with my hands. Suddenly, amidst my self-pity, I noticed something very peculiar. The crowd was gasping. At first I thought that something had happened to the king. I looked up to him. His eyes were wide, his mouth had dropped open, and his hands were clenched around the arms of his chair as he stared towards the sky. I glanced at the man who wore the small glasses. He also looked towards the sky. "What is that thing?" I heard someone beside me ask anxiously. He pointed to the sky with a rigid arm. In fact, all around me, men and women, boys and girls, dogs and cats, all looked to the sky with supreme curiosity. I took all this in instantly and stared toward the sky with the rest of them. High above the trees drifted a gigantic red and yellow ball. Every moment it seemed to become larger and larger. It was slowly descending down towards us. Soon everyone stared in silence as the thing moved towards the city square. As it came closer, it was obvious that the ball was a huge balloon with a basket attached. A man dressed in black stood in the basket. Before the balloon touched the ground, this man jumped out of the basket and landed on the ground beside the group of contestants. It was Count Alexander. He jumped onto the platform where the king sat, and as he did, the balloon went soaring back into the air. The crowd gasped again. The king sat still with a wary look in his old gray eyes. The count looked majestic, and I smiled as he bowed low before the king. Suddenly the king seemed a little more comfortable. "I offer you a gift, your royal highness," said the count with a voice that boomed. The king nodded his head slightly, and the count held out a copper case. One of the king's assistants brought the strange gift to the king. "It is a lizard, your highness. A reptile from a land across the ocean." The king showed his approval with a friendly nod, but the crowd released a corporate "Ah," and the man beside me said, "This strange masked man has been across the ocean." With this, the count turned towards the man with the glasses and said, "I would like to enter the contest." The crowd exclaimed, and the king looked surprised. With slight confusion, the man with glasses turned toward the king as if to ask a question. The king creased his forehead and gave a quick approving nod. "Very well," said the man with the glasses as he turned towards the crowd. He nervously picked a pen out of his shirt pocket and looked down the list. "What is your name, sir?" The crowd was as still as quiet night. The count slowly turned and faced them. As before, he was completely dressed in black, and his eyes sparkled through two small holes in his black mask. "My name," he said, "is Count Alexander." After such long preparations, the great game seemed to pass quickly. Needless to say, Count Alexander surpassed everyone. By the end of the week, Count Alexander and Phoebe Fay were in the lead. Count Alexander was leading by a comfortable 10 points. The only way he could lose the contest was if somehow he failed the last game, Yodel Toasters. The last day came, and the entire town moved out to the Yodel Cliffs to watch the finalists play the last contest. The object of Yodel Toasters was to drop a piece of bread from the top of the cliff down into the toaster at the bottom of the cliff. The toaster at the bottom of the cliff was controlled by remote control by the nearest contestant. In this way, a contestant would be able to move the toaster back and forth to catch the bread. When the toast shot back up, the contestant would try to catch the toast and eat it before the other player catches and eats his toast. So many people were crowded around the bottom of the cliff that I couldn't see the contest. So I decided, perhaps unwisely, to find a higher place to watch the contest. I knew of a certain place in the cliff where I would have a good view of the games. I climbed there with much difficulty and arrived at my perch in time for Yodel Toasters to begin. The king himself came out for this game. There was much ceremony. The players were announced. There were 6 contestants, and all of them were greeted with cheering and celebration. Count Alexander walked out with a large black bag beneath his arm. The official toastmaster asked to see the toasters. From my position on the cliff, I could hear and see the awed silence of the townspeople as the count unveiled his toaster from the black bag. When the inspection was completed, the man with the small glasses yelled in a loud voice, "Let the final great games begin!" Cheers and cheers. The final games continued all day, and Count Alexander was remarkable. The toaster flashed like lightning. He was undefeated in every round of the event. Finally came the last round, and only Phoebe Fay and Count Alexander were left to contend. But even if Count Alexander were to lose this round, he was still ahead by 50 points. As a matter of fact, the only way Count Alexander could lose was if he missed the toast altogether, which was only the worst players do. He was virtually the winner and the new king of our town. I stood on the ledge where I had been sitting and began to cheer. Hurrah! I said. Hurrah for Count Alexander! 3 cheers for Count Alexander! And then I did a very foolish thing. I began to dance. I began to wave my arms and clap my hands and turn round in circles. Hurrah for Count Alexander! Hurrah for Count Alexander! Hurrah for... This is when the catastrophe happened. I slipped. Suddenly I found myself falling backward through the air. If I were to have hit the ground, I surely would have died. But something caught me. I hit something that seemed bouncy, like a trampoline. Hot red light surrounded me. I suddenly found myself flying back up into the air. A moment later, I found myself in the arms of the Count. It happened too fast for me to know what had transpired. I only learned later what the Count had done to save my life. He saw me as I fell from the cliff. Instead of catching his bread with his toaster, he used the remote control to move his toaster to catch me. Then he bounced me up into the air and caught me in his arms. Thus he had lost the contest and the crown of our city by saving my life. The Count bravely descended the long rope ladder while holding me in his arms. He approached the king and set me down. The crowd whispered admiration. King, said the Count, I have lost the contest, and Phoebe Fay will be made queen. Yes, whispered the king, but you have done a great and brave thing, worthy of a king. Alas, your highness, I'm afraid that I will never be king. The king looked long and hard at the Count. The Count looked at the ground. Count, said the king, there is no prize for second place. The Count did not respond. Count, continued the king, you gave me a lizard. I would now like to give you a gift. The Count looked up suddenly. If I had complete control of my kingdom, I would give you my crown. You seem like a worthy man. But there is a parliament, and they don't allow that kind of thing. Instead, I'm going to give you a portion of my kingdom. It is a small and insignificant portion, but you may at least go there and call yourself king. Once again, the Count did not respond. He stood tall and still, and his eyes seemed to gleam for a moment. There's a place in the midst of the Yuyan Mountains, said the king, where no one lives, and in the midst of this place is a cave. Count Alexander, you may have this place and the cave that exists there. You may name this cave what you wish, and you may call yourself king of that domain. The Count bowed low. Thank you, your highness. You are too kind. Then he continued talking as he stood straight and tall. I accept your gracious offer. I will be king of this hidden place, and I will call my domain Spelunx. The crowd broke into excited whisper. What did he say? Asked some. Splunks, answered others. What it means, said many. And still others said, the king is given a fine gift. Hush, cried the king. He stood to his feet and quieted the crowd with his hand. There was silence. No, said the king as he turned toward the masked Count, and he spoke loud so everyone could hear. Splunks is a strange name. What does it mean? And who are you, Count? The king's eyes became anxious and bright. The crowd seemed to lean forward in unison. I stared at the Count with admiration and curiosity. A moment passed and the tension rose. I am, said the Count as he slowly moved his hand toward his mask. The crowd was tight and no one breathed. Professor Alexander Spelunx! And with this, the Count tore the mask from his face. The crowd gasped in shock. There on the top of the enormous black figure was the head of what looked like a giant teddy bear. He's a teddy bear! Yelled someone amidst the silence. And instantaneously, the crowd broke into such an explosion of cheer and applauding as I have never heard. When I looked up into the eyes of Alexander Splunks, I was surprised to see him struggling with a sort of shyness. He looked down at me and smiled, bowed slightly toward the king, and romped, almost clumsily, away from the crowd and into the nearby woods, but not before picking up his toaster. Suddenly the thought came into my mind. I scampered off the king's platform and went running into the woods after the bear. It was not much trouble to catch him, and when I did, he greeted me happily. "Count Spelunx," I said. "Catch your breath, my friend. You saved my life, Mr. Spelunx, and I owe you my life in return." "Nonsense," he said, with a reassuring and very bear-like laugh. I hesitated and sat down on the nearby log. He adjusted a pair of gold spectacles that rested upon his nose and lit a small black pipe. "Count Spelunx," I began, "you saved my life, and I ruined your chances of becoming king." "Ah, it was nothing. Don't think about it," he said with a wave of his hand. He blew a ring of smoke into the trees above us. "But I can't help but think about it, and feel terrible. You must let me repay you. Let me come live with you in your domain. I will be your servant." "Nonsense," he said again. "I do not need a servant." "Please." I think then he saw how desperate I was to repay him. He sat down across from me and looked me in the eyes for some time. The birds whistled above us, and the smoke rose from his pipe. "Fine," he finally said, as he smiled and slapped his legs. "You may come live with me. Remember," and he pointed his pipe in my face and looked very serious for a moment, "you are not my servant, you are my friend." And he grinned a wide and happy grin, and I think I may have sobbed slightly and wiped my nose on my sleeve. We set off together to the cave, and the land he had named after himself, Spelunx. There we built a kingdom and an expandable underground palace, and through the years we have become like brothers. I will forever be indebted to the bear who saved my life. 3 cheers for Professor Alexander Spelunx. The end.
You did it.
Hooray, it's finished.
Well, now we
That
know the
was
history.
fun.
Yeah. This was slightly longer than I expected, but
Yeah, for real.
Just a bit.
Good job on the reading.
Oh, yeah.
I was surprised how good of a storyteller you were. And then I was like, oh, this guy reads to his kids all the time, so he knows how to do it. He's got the technique.
I was tempted to be the other people, but like you were doing so well, and I think my microphone's voice sucks.
I noticed
So-
some errors in the narration. Voice.
I read quite a bit to my kids, you're right. And I try to do voices.
There
Which-
you go.
Some are easier than others. Gandalf's kind of easy. Bilbo's kind of. I'm reading the Lord
Sarah's
of
the
the.
subscriber again, although it's a gift.
I think it may have
Hooray.
been random.
Yeah, for your Patreon of reading that whole damn thing. And now Shady has to see that 5 times in a row.
I love this scene though. It doesn't get old, does it? Well, okay.
Nope.
Well, how many times can he do it against him? So, just imagine if somebody hit you with 100. Oh my gosh! I've seen that over and over again.
Someone did hit me with 20 or 25 for my birthday a couple years back. That was fun.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, appreciated Hurricane, and I appreciated Jim. Actually, I mean, it's funny because, like, you know, we now have the history of Spelunx.
A traumatic reading. The worst was doing the orcs from the 2 towers.
It always goes back to Argon.
You gotta empty it first.
What? Empty it. Okay, I see. Just get different colors. It's exciting.
I like the neon.
Ha!
You broke it.
And I just spilled coffee everywhere. Oh, see? Can make as many of these as we need. Whoa, it went in the frame. Okay.
Yeah.
Earth. No.
I think I hurt Matt Case's brain though, with all the reading.
Yep, that was Hurricane. I guess it's random. You just say 5 random subs. What?
I checked one of my other Discord servers, and the first thing I see is the meme. It's from Jurassic Park, where they're stopped in the rain, looking at the T-Rex exhibit, and it's the girl saying, "What's going to happen to the goat?" And the caption
Oh,
is,
yeah.
"When you visit an adult store in a Middle Eastern country."
Is that the goat that's being fed to the dinosaur or what?
Yeah.
You want to know a shortcut to being a paleontologist?
Nice Pac-Man there.
Have a
You
6-year-old
play it
boy.
back.
You'll learn more about dinosaurs than you ever thought possible.
My uncle's a paleontologist, and he doesn't have any kids at all.
He had to go to school for it, though, didn't he?
Yeah, for a very long time.
See, I didn't.
Yeah, you were smart.
I just had kids.
Oh yes, welcome
Well,
to
you
Spelunx.
went to Iraq as well. I wouldn't call that a shortcut.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Depends on how you
welcome
look
to
at it.
Spelunx.
What does this guy say?
Oh yes, welcome to Spelunx.
Is that so? Is that
Welcome to
the
Spelunx.
is that the Count Alexander the teddy bear?
I guess.
Might
And
be.
this is me. See, now that I know the backstory, I'm well educated on this. I mean, there are 3 other books if you want to read them.
I'm good. I'll let Matthew
Maybe
read
come
them.
back to this game sometime.
No.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
When is Frosting coming back?
You asking me? You think it's gonna happen?
Fingers crossed. It's yeah. The sub hangouts aren't the same without Frosting's adventures.
I'm not hearing that much difference. Because I guess it's hitting the ground harder, but it's further away.
I'm watching another Twitch streamer play Pissed at the moment. He's just brought it up.
Test. That's kind of an interesting game, I suppose. Although well, it's not a game.
Classic.
It's not a game. You're right. So I think you brought, yeah, the history of Spelunx. See, my diary, okay, so I can put in whatever I want in there. These pages are intentionally left nearly blank. So we've now read 3 of the books. Alright, we won't read this. But it's stuff about the solar
He played
system.
Myst last weekend.
Wait, what? Last weekend played
I
Abduction.
did watch that Brutal Moose video about Pest a while ago. It was interesting.
Aha! This was on the Steam page for this game.
Ah, yes.
I was like, what is Satum? Earth.
You have to ask.
Satum? So is that everywhere in the game, or is there more? Are there more hidden areas? I mean, obviously you can, do a lot more stuff with the because it seems like this is a game that's designed to have a lot of depth with the few.
From what I
Option there.
remember, this is it. It's children's edutainment, remember?
Sure. Try to get good at the toaster game. Why won't it move over?
Yodel toasters.
This game's hard.
Based mini games, though.
No. That's hard. I don't know. Whoops.
Are you controlling it with your mouse?
Yeah.
I thought it was just not to have him catch it. I thought the point was to get it in the toaster and not have it bounce back. Like eating toasty.
So you get every 5 you get an extra life. But you see now I'm on level 2, so it's faster, and it's already fast.
There might be a point that if you bounce it too long, it gets too toasty, and then I'm gonna guess it like burns up or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I never last that long. See? I lose. Man.
How many do you need
It's
to
yeah, I
get
love
there?
it. You look so happy.
Come on, I'm hitting the edge.
Oof. Oh, that's cool.
No.
Streamer's asking whether he thinks you'd be able to grow weed in Shadowwood. What do we all think? Is it too
No!
swampy? He's asking if it's too swampy.
No!
New record.
Oh, that's not fair.
If Cyan knew what they were doing, they would release this as a mobile game.
Yep. Practically is one, so.
Yes, but it would be a Spelunx-themed mobile game, and they wouldn't have released Bug Blaster.
There, 23. All right. That'll be my high now. All right. It's better than 13, so. Love to see someone get 100 on that.
There'll probably be somebody there.
Suddenly Shitty ignites a hot new trend in adventure game Twitch.
Yeah. Master the toaster game. All right, well.
Toaster speed run.
They'd probably figure out some kind of thing where, you know, the exact, if you look at that, the way it falls down on that first hit, you know, the perfect position to be in to bounce it back in one.
$1991. That's when this game was made. It's been more than 30 years.
Well, what now, guys?
Now what?
I don't know. I mean,
Oh, I
Have
finally
we finished the game?
I
Did you finish
guess
the game?
A fat, slow bus.
a fat, slow bus. That's what I put here.
That's because you are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, what next?
I remember there was one children's game I played once where you could put in things like a dog stands on a tree, and then it would show a dog standing on a tree, a picture, a drawing of it.
I did figure out how to get the DOS box to work on my old games. It's a pain in the ass, though. Because I have to mount the damn thing every single time I load DOS box.
Oh, you can auto exec that.
I have no idea how to do it. I tried reading the thing, and I'd have to. Yeah, I'll have to look at it more. But
Although I
other
will
than
say,
that,
I never played. I didn't like DOSBox 0.74. I always play 0.72. I don't know. I liked that version better, so I never upgraded.
anyways, I played some old games. Oil's Well. I don't know how you would describe it.
Oil's
It's,
well that burns well.
Huh?
Oil's well that burns well.
No, it's like a oil.
Oh yeah, let's go in here.
It's a machinery place. Oh, have you seen this one yet?
There.
Wasn't 0.74 current in 2005? It's been around for years.
Yeah, but I don't like it. No, not quite. Was it 05? I mean, I know it's been a long time, but I don't know if it's 05.
So I seem to remember using that version in 2005. What was it you said about the creator of DOSBox, Slim Jim?
I didn't say anything.
No, I was saying like
No,
Yeah, you
years
did.
ago. You're on the BRP screen with it.
Oh,
Remind us, Slim
whoever,
Jim.
whoever invented DOSBox can run away with my wife, and I won't even be mad.
Yeah, it is that good. It is that good a program.
Well, it's heckin' stable. Like, it always works.
The funny thing is that the guy who programmed DOSBox is clearly a much better programmer than Bill Gates.
He will forever be known as the guy who got DOS to work right.
Does Bill Gates code, or does he just steal other people's ideas?
Well, exactly.
Okay. I thought you were trying to fault him for the shortcomings of Windows.
Well, that's probably part of it.
Well, here's my tree. It has those 3 types of objects on it in those quantities, I suppose. It looks like I maxed out the maturity meter right as I approached, because I did see it just tick up at the end. So it was still maturing the whole time Jim was reading that story, I guess?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right. So how much longer am I streaming, and what do you guys want to see in that meantime?
You're going to be streaming for another 5 hours, and you're going to be playing. I don't know. I've just got the time frame worked out for the rest of your life, Shady, but I haven't established
I guess so.
the game. I'll leave that for someone else.
Yeah, that's probably what Lauren wants. She said that I should stream until the morning so she can join in.
How about we look through your Steam library?
I can do that.
Yeah. I know it's a pity we can't go back to Life is Strange because Frosting isn't here.
Yeah,
But if we don't have Frosting here, it's not going to be as much fun.
correct. Actually, allow me to
Yeah.
take a bathroom break real quick, and then we'll do
Alright.
that. I shall return shortly.
Okay.
All right.
So how is everybody doing?
I'm still trying to figure out if I want to, since I missed the showing for the 6:45, should I go to the 9:15, or supposedly they have a movie tomorrow of the Toy Story, so now I'm wondering if I should just wait till tomorrow and do it. Check on my GOG games and see what I got. Um, I, man, loved it's. I love to see him play an old game. It's more. It's kind of a shooter-ish game, but it has a pretty good story. But
What's it called?
Giants Citizen Kabuto, old ass game. What year was it? Well, it's not that old. I guess uh, 2000 year. But to me, it feels like it's been forever. It's a just look it up. You can probably see it. Like
What's it called again? Giants?
Giants Citizen Kabuto, Kabuto.
Okay.
You you play as a mech and one of these like creatures that's kind of like basically from England or whatever. Uh, you go off course and land at this strange planet and have to collect your teammates along the way. And while you're collecting your teammates, you get more power ups and whatnot, and then you're helping other citizens that are being overrun by a tyrannical queen that wants to make. It's there's humor in there as well. I haven't
What
played the
the fuck
game in
is
a while.
that?
What?
That's the line I remember from Giants.
Um, yep. Have you played the game?
Just the beginning. I just remember the intro where the guy's on the wing. He's
Mhm.
there. Don't shut the door. Don't shut the fucking door.
Yeah, I remember that. What? Shut the door? No! Oh, it's a great game. I found out a nice little, um, technically friendly fire zone. It doesn't do a whole lot, but you can put mines on the ground, throw a grenade, and then launch yourself across the map and do that.
But by friendly fire, you mean self damage.
It's a little bit of damage, not a whole lot, but you do take some damage. Like I could see if I could play it in Discord. If it'll be kind of maybe forever.
Also, welcome back, Shady.
Pissed is pretty funny.
Are you talking about the parody?
Yeah, it's stupid, but it is still pretty funny.
The art style looks like an amalgamation of Halo and an old school mat game called Dinosaur, if you ask me.
Is this sense?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say?
Is this the censored version of Hurricane Bomber? Because he definitely dropped some F-bombs when I played it. I think this was ported to the Mac by the same people who ported Real Mist. And also Zork Grand Inquisitor.
Is Hurricane sharing a screen too?
Yes.
He's showing us giant censored version without the F-bombs. And probably not the tits either.
He's showing what?
Giant Citizen Kabuto. It's a game.
Okay. All right, so Jim, it should be noted that the viewers peaked when you were reading that. I don't know if you noticed that.
You're welcome.
I didn't notice.
You need to read more often.
Well, maybe I'll fire up a channel and dig through the Gutenberg project.
I had
Yeah, I was
about
trying to show an old game, but I couldn't speak at all because for some reason my alt key, which is what I speak with, wasn't working in the game, so I had to go type it in the game.
Oof.
Yeah. But yeah, just a little. Apparently, it deleted my old files, so I have to start all over again. Woo!
I'm not sure what Nutcase is saying there, but okay.
Have you ever played The Sims before, or something like that?
Not on stream. Played it way back in the day.
Oh, I know what I really want. Okay, now I know I want to see you play, but it's gonna take a moment to set up though, and I'd rather do that another day. Um, but there's a game
Is
called
the
what's up?
is the Discord stream of Shady crash for anyone else? It's
Oh,
working
yeah.
on Twitch, but I'm just seeing a cursor, and nothing else is moving.
Both Shady's face cam and the Twitch chat were frozen.
No, I refreshed the Twitch one.
All right, it's fixed now.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go on, Hurricane.
It's in the back. I
No,
mean, I
there
have to
was
have it
this
in the
other game I
background, but
was thinking of, but it would take a moment to set up because EA got rid of the game, and the only way to get it is to get a copy from the internet, basically, or myself. Is how piece of shits they are. So there was a collector's edition for Alice McGee's. I think what's the name? American McGee's Alice. It is a screwed up world of Alice in Wonderland, dark though. Everything's going to shit basically in the Alice game, and they gave you the second edition, but you could play the first, but then they don't have that anymore. So you could still buy the Return to to Alice in Wonderland game. You just have to set in the parameters to say that yes, you have the complete edition, and then you can put the copy of the game in to play that one. Basically, the original one is a lot better, but it's a 3D platform um, thing with a little bit of talking and fighting, and you get different weapons as you go, finding all the corrupted enemies in the Alice in Wonderland landscape. Everything wants to kill you,
American McGee's
basically.
Alice, that game?
Yes, American McGee's Alice.
Yeah, I remember when that came out.
Yeah,
I've never played it or seen it played.
Oh, it was great. It's very fucked up, is all I could say. Is everything wants to kill you and stuff, except for a couple characters. But other than that, like they want murder, they want to kill you badly and stuff.
what did you want to
I
see,
remember
Moss?
thinking it looked pretty neat.
I remember it was known for being very graphically elaborate for its time.
Yeah.
Let me have a look. Sorry, I was on a different screen. Let's see.
Some old stuff that I've seen. Nice.
What? 11th hour is probably something you're gonna play on another stream, aren't you? Separately.
I was gonna do that a long time ago, and I couldn't get it to run.
Well, it works in Scum VM now, so you can probably earmark that for the future.
Yeah, I can see if I get that running, but just like the game that Hurricane wants me to play, those are things I need to set up offline when I don't have the expectation.
The 11th
start
hour
a
would
stream.
be good for a hangout. I'm saying that's a regular stream for the future.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like I need to devote some time when I'm not streaming to make sure that game runs at all. Just like the other game that Hurricane was talking about, which I keep forgetting the name of it. The Quandary, Dr. Quandary.
Dr. Quandary, yeah.
It should be easier now that it works in Scum VM to run it in a window.
I agree.
And capture it, whereas before you couldn't. So, I don't know. Keep scrolling down.
Play kids
You
games.
own a lot of Steam games.
Like one of the games that I played that's a first-person shooter is
About Subnautica.
What about it?
Yeah. Well, he could try. He could try Subnautica in VR now. Get a game controller.
Oh, I'm not gonna set that up on the fly, but I will try that. Yeah, especially VR. Yeah.
Oh, it's way different now in VR when you do it. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm curious. You don't use the sticks, huh? You use the controller. Okay.
There was a game that I played. I don't know what year it was. I have to go check it out. But there's a game called Tron 2.0. It's basically supposed to kind of like happen after the Tron movie, the first one. It was an interesting story and whatnot. And you can even use your disc and throw it at enemies to de-res them.
Didn't it have wasn't it starring Alan's son, Chet Bradley?
I don't remember.
I remember seeing that when it came out, thinking it looked really cool.
So here's the room. Are you able to just play that straight away in VR, or do you have to buy that separately?
No, you have to get the Room VR is the thing.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a separate game, completely different mechanics and all that crap.
Oh, it's a different game. It's not even.
It's a different game entirely. It's still by the same developers, but it's called a Room something VR.
Okay. Well, that's worth it.
I got to play it for a bit before I couldn't because limitations with my room because it's pretty small.
Yeah.
I just looked off and saw Stanley Parable is available. It has a VR mod.
It has a VR mod. Oh my gosh!
I have.
It's like Outer Wilds, it's an unofficial VR mod.
Oh, is that how you do it? Yeah, I don't know how to set that up.
The game is called The Room VR: A Dark Matter.
Oh, look, there's Escape Simulator. If you want to play that. Ugh.
I'm okay. I don't want to go into that again.
It was pain for me because just.
I don't know. It just for me, it kind of felt natural. It was like it was just obvious.
The way I absorb information is different.
How about LA Noire?
Oh yeah, Satisfactory. I'd like to play that with you sometime.
Yeah, I haven't played that yet.
I haven't played it a long time.
What is this? This is just memes, right?
All right, guys, I think I gotta dip out. I'm gonna and then go lay down before she wakes up again.
All right, see you later, dude.
All right, Jim.
Good night, Slim Jim.
Thanks for hanging out and thanks for the storytelling.
I appreciate the opportunity to regale your viewers with a dramatic reading of the history of Spelunx.
Yeah, now I understand it a lot better.
Good times.
I have Wallace and Gromit.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Wallace and Gromit, that's fun.
Is there anything else before we go to Wallace and Gromit?
Still haven't gotten Rama.
Yeah.
How do I end up with these games?
What's Mysterium? Is that anything to do with the convention, or is that something else?
No, it's something completely different. I think it's a co-op.
Did you ever play the
As opposed to Mysterium, which is just a hive mind.
Correct.
Did you ever play the Patrick's Pear Box at all, or no?
I played the demo. But I think I picked up the main game on sale, didn't I? Yeah, there it is.
Another game that came to mind, and now it left my head. I'm like, shit, I'm trying to remember it now. Another game that was pretty good, too.
Oh, got some classics up here.
Antechamber, I read about that.
People need to make more of these co-op puzzle games.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
I remember there was one game that had VR, and it was like a D&D VR. I can't remember the name of it. I was probably gonna get it, but then I haven't did. Ooh, I know what you should do for VR when you get the chance. Do duck season.
Hypnospace Outlaw. Mitchie. What? I don't remember getting this game at all. So that gets to go into the what even is this?
Don't know.
I don't know.
I'd suggest this too, but I don't think it'd be appropriate.
All right.
It's a free game called Helltaker. Music's great, but they do a bunch of suggestives and stuff. No actual parts, but yeah. The music's great though.
So you play it for the music?
Yeah. Oh, have you ever played There Is No Game, Wrong Dimension?
I don't think so. I played I Hate This Game.
Yeah, I remember doing that one for you. There's a game called There Is No Game, Wrong Dimension, and it's all about the mouse clicks of finding it's puzzles and stuff like that. And you probably enjoy it. It also has a story to it as well.
There's a like cookie clicker.
Huh?
There was a like cookie clicker.
It's not cookie clicker. It's not where you have to constantly click things. It's there's no mouse. It's all mouse. No keyboard whatsoever. To find the different clues to get to each stage and things. And
Wait, this
it's
says
interesting
purchase.
because
I don't even have it.
this
Why is
guy
it in-
made a demo for it too. Let me go here. Let me see how much this is again.
Oh, maybe he
a good game.
recommended it to me. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Mitchie recommended it and it appears in my library. I'm like, why is that even here? Okay.
Yeah, I can get this for you if you want to. It's cheap if you want to play it. Just look it up. It's called There Is No Game.
Wrong dimension.
It should say There Is No Game, and then it should Wrong Dimension, that one.
Ah! Oh, I tried to hit full screen.
Hello, user. Program speaking. Actually, there's no game. Hey! What are you doing, user? I told you there was no game. Don't touch that! Will you stop? Are you crazy? You're breaking all my content! No! What is happening? Where are we?
Cheap usage of the Nutcracker.
What have you done, user? Oh no. We've probably entered a different video game dimension.
It's basically
User,
you're
this is
poking
under
around,
dimension.
and he doesn't want you to poke around.
Yeah.
And then you
It's
find more
better
things
than this
to,
puzzle.
and then it's
Hero, stop running around in
puzzles and
circles
stuff.
and
It's
fight.
I liked it
Yeah.
for what it was.
It kind of has that Stanley Parable dynamic where you and the narrator
Yeah.
are at odds and you're silent.
If you don't want to spoil anything else, I would put out of the
Well done, user.
trailer because
Okay.
and stuff. Other than that, I liked it. So, like, if you want to play this, you know, I can get you the game, or you can buy it. I don't care.
Ooh. Just trying to think about. What do you guys think? Should I play this now?
I'm down for it.
No. Let me see here. Turn off that screen share. It's dangerous.
They're saying about 5-hour main story. If you really want to go full into it, maybe 6 hours or something.
That sounds like a one stream game then.
You want to save that for another day then?
Probably, but I think I do want to play it. That's
Oh,
kind of
it's you can, you know, I think there's save spots or whatever.
Oh, I know. Sometimes I like to have like these clean, like one stream things. I'm gonna see what I would normally do with that game is I would add it to the wish list, and then I get the alert when it's on sale, and then I pick it up and just knock it out on stream in one day. It's typically what I do with a game like that.
I don't know. Other than that, I don't know what else game to play.
We could play that co-op game.
Which co-op game?
I think it's really short. TikTok, A Tale for Two. I think I heard it was really short. Let's see. Well, I guess I can put it, I can show it back up here. Store page. I think it's really short. Average playtime 2.5 hours. The problem with that is you would have to make sure you didn't see my screen. You'd have to like go off separate. Yeah, that may not be good for the hangout because then the other guys couldn't talk.
No, I really don't have anything else. Most of the stuff I have is just, you know, first-person shooter.
Yeah.
We played Soma a while ago. Some of it.
Yeah.
You can mess about in Stardew Valley. Just run around annoying people.
Oh, there's an old game that had a recent, I don't know how long ago. They updated their graphics and stuff. An old game that I played called Crystal Caves. I don't know if anybody's played that, but
Speaking of which, actually, I should play the Crystal Key sometime.
And you should play the sequel for the first time, which is apparently pretty average, but I'd be curious to see what you think.
Well, other than that, I'm probably gonna go get some food.
I was going to say GTA, then I remembered the music thing. Yeah. And then last time you got a lap dance, and apparently that was, yeah.
Oh, that hyperspace outlaw thing. If you look in your where it says games and Discord, go to adventure. It's right there. Somebody, Michi posted it, I guess.
Yeah, I think what you do is you recommend it to friends.
Anyways, I'm probably
You
gonna
miss
go as
about
well.
an Uru. Just run around, annoy, or you could play the online version and just go annoy people in the cavern about Mysterium.
I'll be back in a couple minutes.
I mean, I can do that.
I'm gonna
if
go
that's-
out, go get some food and stuff. I'll see you guys later.
All right, Hurricane.
All right, see ya.
See you.
Later.
I don't know if see you later in that case means he's coming back or not. So
I mean, he'll be coming back. It's just a question of when, whether it's going to be today or a year's time.
thank you for the technical breakdown. There's actually a fair number of these that I have seen already. There's Firmament.
12 gig.
Yeah. Last played April 4, 2020. I had access to some demo thing.
I'm pretty sure I did as well. I just couldn't be bothered.
It was very short. I don't remember a single thing about it. Ah. Yeah, I don't know what to
If you
scope
want
up.
a game that's the length of a demo, play the full game. Don't play the demo.
I don't know if it's that bad.
LA Noire. Let's have a peek at LA Noire.
Are you sure? Is that something?
I know we can have a peek at the beginning.
The thing is, I always think that at the beginning of big games, I should have at times that are I'd be like, hey, I'm playing this game, and more people can come in. Like, this is kind of a lower time, like, where nobody's around, and
You can go back to playing Lemmings again.
I could play Lemmings, but I'd have to set up a different version because I don't want to play that DOS version anymore.
Yeah, I was saying you could play the Mac version, but that would take setting up as well.
Yeah. You got to make a list of these games. That's what I made that little Trello board for. I probably should just clear much of it and just kind of start over with what's important there.
Well, we have finished the Journeyman project now, so series.
Yeah.
Oh, how about Civ 5? Or Civ 6?
There is Civ 6.
I haven't actually seen Civ 6. I haven't actually seen Civ 6. I've only seen first 4.
I didn't install it. That's a big game. See, like, I gotta install that real quick.
What about Safecracker?
Could try some. A lot of people said it's hard to run. I can see what happens, but
Yeah. That wouldn't draw in a lot of people, but it will be interesting to see still.
I can.
So you have a mechanical hard drive and an SSD. Is that how it works?
I've got a bunch of hard drives.
Are they mechanical or SSD?
Mechanical. I guess that's. I only have one SSD.
I don't use anything but SSD these days.
Well, they don't give you
So
much data.
faster.
They don't give you much data storage.
Yeah, it's mainly because mechanical hard drives are so cheap. So you can get you can get a two terabyte external hard drive that's mechanical for $80, but you're looking more at about 200 for a 2 terabyte SSD. But the improvement isn't worth it. Is the game not working?
Haven't tried yet.
All right. Live stream on Discord's broken again, so I'll just look at Discord for Twitch for now.
Ooh, that looks bad. That's because you guys get the OBS preview, which I can't have as an active window. So once it goes in the background, it like shuts down or something. I don't hear any sounds. Now oh yeah, this is broken. Now
Let's
I'm
read this letter of engagement. Dear.
Oh, the menu is broken.
Okay, I'm back.
I don't know if I can say this works.
It's bolted.
I can maybe show you what I'm seeing. The problem is if I tab out, it minimizes and then OBS doesn't allow me to. Hate that. Window capture, make source visible. I would have to do a display capture. To make sure I move everything out of the way so you don't comment about my desktop or something. Because you always do that.
Yeah, your big blue background.
See, if I did a display capture. So I can show you what it's. Yeah, I can tab out, and so I can tab over to that and see if that works again. I don't know. Oh, okay. It's a tiny resolution on the stream, but this is what I'm looking at.
Okay, not bad graphics.
No, but I don't know if it's
Pre-rendered
actually.
though, but Can't you just scale it up on OBS?
Yeah, but that would mess up because it's my main monitor display capture. That would also, that's the window. That's the other thing. So I'm better off making a new one and scaling that one.
Bill, this is better than blank screen. Don't know who thought that was a good idea.
It's certainly a change from my usual safe-cracking jobs.
Okay, so then that's like a puzzle kind of thing, and just kind of work on stuff like that. See that? There it is, the text up there. Okay. I don't know. This is what you want? We can do this, I guess, if you really want it.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
All right.
Apparently there was a Wii version of this game, which that would be weird to control.
See the mouse cursor disappears here, and see it's all broken.
Hmm.
Yeah, dodgy programming.
Okay. I don't know what resolution that was.
Be 640 by 480, I'm pretty sure.
Was it that small?
Yeah, I can double check.
It seemed bigger than that. Maybe this.
Save Cracker 2006 specs.
1024 by 768.
Oh, yeah. According to Mobby Games, it's 1024 by 768, so alright. That's about the same resolution as Miss 4, so. Kind of weird this got a Wii port, but yeah.
That's so annoying. Oh, wait a minute. So it's a 4x3.
Yeah.
Well, this is my 16:9 screen. This is my 4x3 screen. So delete this. Copy this. Paste it there. Okay, now why is that not showing up? understand. Now it's showing up. Okay. Is it 1280 by 960? No, because it's 1080. So 1440 by 1080.